Maybe you left the Bible behind. Maybe it was used against you. Maybe you think the Bible is just a relic from the past that doesn't have anything to do with your life. This video is for you because I think you need to rethink that. I think you need to look at the Bible again. And let me tell you why. I'm Bill Krapek, fresh and honest readings of the Bible outside of the trenches in the spirit of 1 Corinthians chapter 13. New video every morning. I'm working on a book, an eccentric tour of the Bible. That's what I call it. Now, in nonfiction, you don't have to write the book. You have to write good sample chapters, and you need to show you have the wherewithal to finish that damn book. And hopefully, if things go well, I get some money up front in advance so I can get this thing written. But I've got several chapters written. And the reason why I'm doing these videos is because you need to have a social presence ready to roll out your book, to show that you can defend your book. Okay, cool. And the reason why I'm writing the book and making these videos is because it's a combination of despair and hope. And one is the flip side of the other. And the despair is this. I'm going to work through my little list here. There's a distress over what's broken. Cruelty, the weaponization of the Bible against gay people, a feeling that the Bible is completely a conviction for hundreds of millions of people that the Bible is just disconnected from reality. This does not come from the text. This comes from the readers. Believers who are fighting each other all the time. The number one rule is love. Yeah, sure, get in a fight, no big deal. Throw some dishes at each other every once in a while. The number one rule is love, but also non-believers, modern scholars, who cannot take yes for an answer. We are so close to social and economic breakthroughs that we just talk ourselves out of. And it's depressing. And it's just going downhill from here. It's just getting worse. And it's depressing because I'm worried that you're not going to love Jesus as I love Jesus, because he's the real deal. And if you don't love him and you have good reasons, that's cool. I have no problem with that. But I promise you the reasons are bad. And here's the hope. Okay? If the damage was done by misreading, it can be undone by reading well. If the damage was done by misreading, and mind you, it's centuries of misreading in some cases, it can be undone by reading well. It is literally the flip of a switch, and you get yourself a change of attitude. So I'm going to recap the videos that I did this week. The Exodus. Now, every scholar, the vast majority of scholars, thinks that it didn't happen. But so Moses in Deuteronomy, before they cross into the promised land, says, we're going to ratify the covenant with God in Shechem. When you get into the promised land, go to Shechem. So they get in the promised land, and before the war of conquest ever really starts, there's Ai and there's Jericho, the walls come tumbling down. They go right up to Shechem, and they ratify the covenant. How did Moses know they'd be able to do that? And the answer from 100 years before is the Amarna letters. There are Israelites living there already. There's a guy there named Libiah, lion of something. How about lion of Yahweh? Now, Israel starts out worshiping El, hence Israel, and then later Yahweh comes in. And so we're thinking they don't worship Yahweh. Well, why wouldn't they at that time? Yahweh, the name Yahoo, shows up among the people known as the Shazu. The Shazu are there. The Shazu are there. There's no reason for you to just assume this name is not Lion of Yahweh. And he has another guy that he works with, Milkili. Milkili can legitimately be read as another form of Molech, the infernal deity that they sacrifice children to that doesn't show up anywhere in the archaeology. What's a problem? I asked the biblical scholars, what's the problem? The marriage between David and Jonathan. God is in favor of gay marriage. I proved the case. Did you know that AI for YouTube would not generate a thumbnail for that video because it was controversial? I had to go to I use Claude for writing, but you don't really want to use Claude for generating images. Well, I went to Gemini. I went to Gemini to generate that image. I got that from Gemini. But I prove it. The god at Gaza, in the video, Samson and the god who's not Dagon. Well, the Israelites called the god of Gaza Dagon all the time. There was a god of Dagon, but he didn't seem, there's no evidence that the Philistines ever worshiped Dagon. He's more of a northern thing. Way northern Israel and Syria. Why do you keep saying it? The god at Gaza is Amun-Ra. They wrote his name out in crypsis, code. Amun's head of a pantheon, Dagon's the head of a pantheon. Samson means sunny, like the sun in the sky. Re is the sun god. Amun-Ra, Dagon, Samson is Amun-Ra in crypsis. It's not complicated. We've known about the crypsis and Amun-Ra for decades. And when the Greeks were there during the Hellenistic period at Gaza, they had a temple to Cretan Zeus. Crete is the island. Zeus. Zeus is the head of a pantheon. Ammon's the head of the pantheon. So really the same god. And in fact, the Romans and the Greeks worshipped Ammon as Zeus Ammon. So what's the problem? You can't take yes for an answer. You just got to commit it to the Bible being wrong. We have the hidden stage. Well, Israel is the promised land and we got to support Israel. Fine. This is not a political argument, but there are people I call us because it's my people. We're the Proteans. We're the children of Proteus. So I call us because we're like shapeshifters and the DNA proves it. We're not only the Greeks, we're the Romans, we're the Philistines, the DNA came in on the Carthaginians, we're the Carthaginians. I mean, it's crazy. When Abraham came into the promised land, we were already there. When Isaiah is talking about the suffering servant, he says the people of the islands, the people of the coastlands are waiting. That's us. We're basically the island and coastal Greeks. Jesus says, I have another flock. The Mormons say, well, this is Israelites who are in the New World, and Jesus can go to the New World, blah, blah, blah. I have another flock, I have another sheep. No. Chapter 12, Jesus is in Jerusalem. Some Greeks show up. Hey, they talk to Andrew. Hey, we hear about this Jesus guy. Can you introduce us? And Andrew says, hey, goes to Jesus and says, hey, these Greeks want to meet you. And Jesus says, my time has come. We're the other flock. Israel's the play, we are the stage. We were the stage. Israel would have been impossible without us as the sea people. Christianity would have been impossible if, as the Romans, we had not built a stable empire. With the time of Jesus, the stage became the play. What does that have to do with the modern state of Israel? Paul says the same thing. There's no Jew, there's no Greek, there's only one church. And literally in Ephesians, he says we're all one nation. If you're not in the nation, you're not in the nation. If you want to support Israel, but there's nowhere in the New Testament to support that. That's a big political issue that we need to take about. No, you don't have to hate, you just deal with reality. And then the goddess in Genesis, and she's there, and I hope you watch the video and you see that she's there plain as day. Every one of those was a door that we thought was closed forever, and I'm shown that they're not. The Bible's not disconnected from reality. The Bible's still good. I am in despair about how the way the world is rejecting Jesus today because it's dumb. I'm sorry, it's just dumb. Now, the ethic of this, I do everything here out of love. I'm not doing any gotchas to score any points, but by God, not only am I going to score some points, but I'm going to run up the score. I would rather not have to write this book and correct these problems with these misreading of the Bible so that the poison against Jesus gets shut down. I would rather this have not happened. But I have to do it. To me, the guiding principle is 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Go read it. It's not long. It is the most perfect, beautiful, balanced meditation on love and what love does in the history of the world. It'll be one of the greatest things you've ever read. You'll want to put it up on the wall. Millions of people have. And that's what this is all about. Let's just be frank and honest with each other, and let's be fearless. But it has to be out of love. That's where we have to go. The door we thought was closed forever was in fact never locked. Come with me and see. Tomorrow, we begin a new week. And we open up another door every day. Remember, iron sharpens iron. God bless.